This is your guide to making repurposed and hangable artwork out of wooden materials. Step 1, you want to gather your tools. I tend to use a miter saw and an air compressor every time because I have those. You might be using something totally different, but the process is going to apply the same. I measure a length and a width for my frame, and then I cut the first piece to that length. You'll see. This video is going to be slow so you can see everything that I'm doing. I mean, it's not slow, it's just the total process. And the point I'm making here is that you're gonna apply just steady, even pressure, not like a short burst of a lot of pressure. And then what I use is that first cut to establish a template for the corresponding piece. And I believe these pieces are my length, that I have predetermined my length and I have predetermined my width. I really just measure one side of each of those, then I make a template cut for its corresponding piece. And I mark both sides of the the piece that's going to be its correspondent, because I leave the saw in just one spot on 90 degrees, and then I flip the wood so that way I get a 90-degree cut that converges in toward the last 90-degree cut. I learned way too many times that by making 90-degree cuts that go parallel with each other, and then I've messed up my whole frame. And so that's an important just truth behind this, is that these 90-degree cuts have to converge into each other. Steady pressure, baby. You can burn the wood if you just put a lot of pressure. Let that saw fall through. Look at that artwork. So these repurposed clothing racks of mine, I take pride in the display. My display is not that, it wasn't that beautiful or glamorous, but it's all language. I see it all as language. So when I am making something to display, I don't know, it's just all artwork to me, And so something happened here where my corresponding piece didn't quite line up. And so I'm just going to use that template to adjust, Just looking at the piece as it's going to sit on the wood, and then I match up, just whatever's left from another piece, and I'm just going to take it all the way to the edge. All the way to the edge, of that. Yeah, I'm showing you right here. See, I just lined up with that corner. And I'm going to leave that hole as kind of a nice, decoration on the work. What that hole is it's a piercing I made to put a metal skewer through it so I can hang my clothes or hang clothes on that I display. I don't recall if I said these were clothing racks I made. But yeah, those are clothing racks. These are repurposed clothing racks. They are 1 by 4 inches. And so I'm going to use, I'll show you, you'll see, I'm going to use a staple gun. I would normally use a brad or nail gun to put the piece together, but this process is, a way of using what you have, and I guess B, adjusting with what you need to do. So I'm using that first cut as a template again. Both sides of that wood. It's important. It's the rule that you have to get these two 90-degree cuts to converge into each other. The most important thing is that these cuts cannot be parallel, or else you won't be able to put your frame together the way you want to. Look at that thing, snug as a bug in a rug. And then, oh, yep, it fits. Nice. So I've got my nail gun, my air compressor, putting it all together. If you don't have this, maybe this is where you're gonna have to use your ingenuity. You could use a nail, like a screwdriver, or not a screwdriver. I guess you could. You could use a screwdriver. You can use anything. That is also part of this. It's just learning what you can do, erasing limitations, and doing what you can, empowering yourself to use the tools at your disposal. You could use a drill and drill holes and screw. This can be very careful. This is much easier. The tools you can use to make it easier on yourself, that's great. Do it if you can. But if you have to do something a certain way and it's going to take you a little bit longer, take pride in that. Maybe it's all language, and at least you're making the effort. What I'm doing here is I'm essentially working, the length of that crease, because this is the back of the frame, and I'm not concerned about these staples showing on the back, because no one's going to see you unless you're the owner. And so I'm traveling down the whole length, spreading out the pressure these staples are going to apply down the whole length. I put 5 staples in. You could use more, you could use less. It just really is preference. I find this is pretty sturdy, this frame, but that first round not so much, but right here is where it gets really sturdy. I put 5 more staples in on each corner, really close to the inner edge of that frame. I'm condensing them up toward that inner edge because I'm going to lay that flat piece of wood on it, and I just want that to hide the nails, or the staples. Look back at it. So here we go. That is the frame, just shaking around so I can show you how sturdy it is. Then I'm going to drop it so you show, there we go. So I'm laying down my wood, my art piece. Fun fact about this wood is it was COVID wood. It is repurposed business closure wood that they, plywood up stores that were closed from the Black Lives Matter stuff, the riots, and the business closures. And so I'm attaching the wood with screws. I'm using a screwdriver. I'm using a drill to pre-drill my holes, but I'm using screws and screwdriver to, attach the piece. This is a kind of, this is really the most logical and permanent way I could put this piece together. But I also kind of thought it was interesting because I'm not using chemical adhesives at all. I mean, even the art piece, what I used to glue some paper onto there is wheat paste. So, I mean, that's just flour and water. No chemicals. Which I'm not like an anti-chemical person. It's just interesting. I don't know. This is all language. Everything is... It's not that anything... Like, why there's no chemicals is not for any specific purpose. It just is the way it is. It just happened to be that way. It's not something I went for.
Oh, better than glue. Or whatever, this shit is fucking permanent. Talk about art that lasts. Here we go. Talk about spin.
And so I put this... I usually keep the screws out in the corners, but I think I put that screw on, directly on the side pretty much, because that is where the wood of the frame is like closest to the center of its width, if that made any sense. The piece that's screwed onto there is not perpendicular on any side on all four of the sides pretty much. It's a curvy little, it's not, I don't know, you'll see the cut maybe. Here's the piece. So beautiful. And I'll have to make another video about how to make these pieces hangable. Not difficult at all. Just some
now it's time to make it hangable.
Wire and some rings. And there goes the back. And here's the pieces hangable right now. Up on the wall. Expanderexpire.org, baby. Thank you for watching.